protractors this week. Let's take a look at this instrument that we have not seen yet. Okay, what does it look like at the top? It looks like a curved ruler, and it's set up just the same. You'll notice that in some on the bottom, the closest numbers on the bottom go from 0 to 180. Why 180? Straight line. The top numbers also go from 0 to 180, and they are spaced by units of 10. Okay. Now, the reason that there are numbers on top and on bottom is depending on which way the angle is facing. So if I were to draw an angle, I'm going to draw an acute angle. So I know that it has to be less than 90. So if you read your protractor wrong and you get a degree that's more than 90, you know you've made a mistake. So this center point right there is where you match the point of your angle. Okay? So this is my point. Remember, an angle are two rays that meet at a point. This point goes in the circle or hole of the protractor. This bottom ray lines up with the lines. Do you see the lines that shoot out past the circle there? That is what you line up your ray with, okay? So I will put my circle and I line up my line with my protractor. Now, since my ray is facing this direction, I have to find where my 0 is. My 0 is the bottom set of numbers. Do you see that? So I use the bottom set of numbers to find the degree of this angle. And if you're reading it correctly, it's almost right at 40 degrees. So if it's in between a tick mark, you have to look at what multiple of 10 it is in between, because that's also tricky. So if you're facing this way and it's halfway between 30 and 40, that would be 35. But if you're doing an obtuse angle and you're over here, you have to say, okay, what two values of 10 am I in between? In this case, 150, 140. So if it's like a little bit less than halfway, then just use your best judgment. You could say, oh, that's around 143. Or if it's a little bit past the halfway, you could say, oh, that's about 147, 48, 49. And you can gauge it just like you would a ruler. But you have to be very careful that you're in between your multiples. So let me just put a dot on here. Let's say it's about right here. Do you see my blue dot? So the first thing you should ask yourself, if this is where your ray is, what two multiples of 10 is it in between? 60 and 70. Now how many tick marks past the 60 is it? It's right at 63. So that is a 63 degree angle. And this protractor is the instrument we use to find the degrees of angles. One more time. Step 1. You know I like to do steps. Step 1, dot on the circle. Step 2, line up your bottom ray with the line. Step 3, figure out, are you using the top numbers or bottom numbers? And how do you know? The bottom ray must point at 0. That's your starting point. Then the other ray determines the degrees. So make sure that your bottom ray is at 0 and use your other ray to read how many degrees. Look for the multiples of 10. What two multiples of 10 is it in between? Then from there, figure out how many tick marks away from halfway to have a good gauge of the exact degree measure. Okay, so protractors, you can do it. It's a very useful instrument, and if you know how to read a ruler, you can read the protractor. Just take your time. Okay, so I think that is everything I wanted to cover, And I am always available for questions. I know Zern sometimes does a good job of guiding you through, but if you're doing the paper packet, I know it can sometimes be a little bit tricky. So I am here to help you because geometry is really important, and you'll continue doing geometry in the grades as you progress in school. So you need to have this framework for success, okay? Understanding angles and measures and knowing how to use a protractor and things like that. So I hope that this message is finding you well, and I will hopefully see you on Wednesday. We're going to try out Google Meets instead of Zoom. I will send you the link out probably between 1 and 1:15, depending on how fast I can get Addie down and Cade situated and jump on the computer, because I think I just have to log on and send you the link, and from there you just literally click on the link and you'll be in the video conference. Okay, it'll be set up just the same. And so I look forward to seeing you. Miss Abigail's our student of the week. If you haven't yet, check out Class Dojo, because her treasure of the Hunter of the Week paper is on there, along with some awesome pictures of her and her family. So check that out. We'll do Abigail share time on Wednesday for our student of the week share, and just touch base, see how it's going. So if you have any questions, make sure you're ready to go so I can help you. All right, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.